My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernise how citizens interact with public services.
Yeah, so a few months ago, it was said by the British government that they had ditched their plans to introduce digital ID in the UK. But I made a video actually saying that digital IDs were still going to go ahead, not because I was trying to be a doom and gloom, but because prophecy has to be fulfilled. And I know that digital IDs will play a role in bringing about the mark of the beast. So there, you just watched a video of King Charles, who some humorously call King Sausage Fingers because he's got swollen fingers, saying, or basically instructing his ministers to go ahead with the introduction of digital IDs in the UK. So it's definitely going ahead. So it'll be interesting to see what will happen in the next weeks and months with regards to how exactly digital IDs will be forced upon the British public, because the British public have already said no. It was a very hard no. They marched, they protested, and said they didn't want digital IDs. But politicians, of course, don't listen to what the public wants. But here, I wanted to share just 2 slides, just giving information about data centers, which many are saying should actually be rightly called surveillance centers, because digital IDs and data centers, they are all kind of interconnected. Data centers are being built all over the world to store the data that's being collected through whether digital IDs or AI or all this technology that's being introduced. They need somewhere to store all this information. So let me just start here with the small print here, so I don't forget, because I found this quite interesting. It says, while no African country features in the worldwide top 10 data centers. So here we have these, we have like a chart here showing the countries that have got the most, the biggest number of data centers, of which America is at the top. It says the African countries are not listed here, but there are some African countries that have data centers. Okay, for instance, South Africa, it says ranks 36th with 49 data centers. In South Africa right now, they have 49 data centers, and I won't be surprised if that number goes up as they continue to build more data centers. And then we have Kenya, which is ranks 54th with 18 data centers, and we've got Nigeria as well, which is 56th, ranks 56th, with 16 data centers. And if we just go to the top here, in fact, if we just read what Harrison Smith says here, he says sarcastically, we need to build thousands of new data centers right now. The United States of America hosts over 3,700 data centers, 8 times more than any other country as of May 2025. And of course, here we see that the exact number is 3,757. And at the moment, they're actually building more. There's I'll share some videos with you, but there's I think his name is Kevin O'Leary, who's a multimillionaire or billionaire who's actually involved in building a data center, and he has said that those who oppose data centers are working for the Chinese government, which of course is nonsense. I mean, President Trump has just visited China just in the last few days, so China and America don't hate each other. This is just distraction from the truth of what's really happening. I hope you understand what I mean, that whenever someone stands up and tells the truth or exposes something, they'll say that person is working for Russia or they're working for China. But in fact, all these countries are actually working together. And I'll show you some of that evidence in some of my other videos, not necessarily this one, but some of my other videos. So the next country after the USA is Germany with 443 data centers. The UK has 428. China has 361 data centers, Canada 275, France 265, India 265 as well, Australia 258, the Netherlands 192, Japan 186. And if you look at all these countries, they have other more pressing issues such as homelessness and the cost of living going up, and crime and drug addiction and pornography and all this stuff, especially in the US. There's a lot of homelessness and drug addiction and suicide and depression, but they are not concentrating on sorting out those problems. They are concentrating on building these data centers because, of course, this plays into the digital prison that's been built around us. Okay, they need somewhere to store the information, which uses up actually quite a lot of energy, as you shall see in some of the videos that I'm going to show you. The next one here says here, nearly 50,000 Lake Tahoe residents have to find a new power source after their energy source looks to redirect lines to data centers. So, electricity is being taken away from residents and redirected to data centers, as if that's the most important thing. So that's all the talking I'm going to be doing in this video. Next, I'll share with you some videos of either residents or relatives of residents who have been affected by these data centers that are being built. So instead of me talking, I'll share some of that with you now.
False. All of this is false. Then why won't they let people talk? Why won't they let us ask questions? It's false. This is not real information. And we sit here like it's okay. It's a charade. It's a charade. It's false.
Hello, my name is Ansley. I live in Coweta County, Georgia. We are Noonan, Sharpsburg, Grantville, Moreland, a little bit all together there in Coweta County. I wanted to come on here today and talk about something that happened with my TikTok account. So I made 2 videos talking about how Georgia Power is taking families' homes and properties against their will. One of those being my own family. I have a personal connection to this story, which is why it's so important to me personally. Although nobody in this town wants a damn data center, our commissioners still approved it. So therefore, Georgia Power is using easement rights to force homeowners, longtime homeowners, old homeowners, into selling their family properties and their family homes so they can be torn down and power lines be extended to support these data centers. This is wrong on so many levels, but when I made these videos to speak out against it, TikTok banned my videos. They said that they're a violation of community guidelines. I never violated any community guidelines. I only came on here to tell the truth about what's happening in Coweta County, Georgia. This is happening to at least 30 people. Some of them are elderly, cannot handle this on their own. Some of these people have families. Some of these properties have been passed down by generation to generation. This is not an option for Coweta County homeowners. This is something they are being forced to do, even though there are many petitions and other things in place trying to make this stop. Our commissioners still approve these projects. It's wrong. And I feel like people should know that in America, you do not have the right to your land. You do not have the right to your property. They can come and take that from you, and there will be nobody there to help you. And when you speak out against it online, they'll ban your videos. They'll block you. They'll threaten to take away your whole entire account. There is no freedom of speech. There is no protection of property. It doesn't make any sense. And people should know about this. That's all I have to say.
This is our cold water pressure in the kitchen. This is where I fill up water for storage. Those are the things we have to fill up to flush the toilets.
So you can see the sediment from the data center. Wow, and that's just from the water coming out of your faucet.
Yeah. And this is what's in all the pipes.
Just the well itself is probably 20,000, and that's not counting any of the
all
Faucets,
the replacement
yeah.
of the fixtures and
That's
faucets
just
and
the way.
toilets and the lines that come underneath the house. It's overwhelming because you really feel like you are up against this huge wall that you can't penetrate. There's nothing that you can do, and they don't care.
I'm here in Mansfield, Georgia, driving by Meta's new 2 million square foot data center facility. Facilities like this are being used to power things like ChatGPT and other AI tools that are becoming integrated into our daily life. But data centers come with big costs. From light and noise pollution to the environmental impacts to the potential rising costs of energy bills.
When we found this place, we decided that this was it. It was perfect.
I was actually raised probably 5 miles from here. Felt like coming home.
The data center that's now the Morris's next door neighbor happens to be owned by Meta, the company you know for Facebook and Instagram, but has also been breaking into artificial intelligence. They started construction on this data center campus in 2018.
Definitely changed everything. They destroyed the environment, taken down all the trees across the road.
Beautiful pines, beautiful forest.
The light pollution is...
You don't have to have a night light in the house. You can walk around the house at night and see everything. It's that bright.
New tonight, Coweta County has given the green light for the construction of a massive $17 billion data center. The Board of Commissioners voted last night to rezone the 800 acres of land despite fierce opposition in the county. Now plans for the data center called Project Sail are full steam ahead, apparently. Tonight, Fox 5's Rob Durienzo is at the live desk with a look at where residents are taking their fight now. Rob?
That's right, Russ. Good evening to you. Well, it was standing room only at this Board of Commissioners meeting in Coweta County over this massive data center. And after hearing from residents Tuesday night, the commissioners voted 3-2 to approve the rezoning.
This is a no-brainer for the county, and I will stake my political career on it. If you can run against me, you can.
A tense vote Tuesday night in Coweta County as commissioners advanced plans for the $17 billion data center called Project Sail. Its 9 buildings, more than 4 million square feet, would require more power than the output of a nuclear reactor.
It's the right site for a data center project. It will bring good jobs and millions of dollars in revenue to the county per year.
While the head of the company behind the plan, Prologis, says it will boost the local economy, residents organized a campaign against it, fighting it tooth and nail.
It creates an industrial island in a sea of non-industrial land.
This proposed development is just 1,200 feet from Arco Sargent Elementary School and only 950 feet from a daycare.
Those residents opposed to the project wore red, arguing the jobs it would bring would only be temporary. Those in favor, like Chad Caldwell, wore blue. He thinks the county could seize on the money coming from Silicon Valley.
I know we need more money in this county. I know we need to work on roads, we need to build bridges, we need schools. And I think we're looking at a great opportunity to generate a tremendous amount of revenue.
As these data centers pop up all over the country to supply computing power for artificial intelligence, tech companies have increasingly been turning to Georgia. Within 60 miles of Atlanta, the website Baxtel has tracked 26 data centers currently under construction, with another 52 planned.
This area is already congested, and to add additional 4,000 vehicles daily in this area is asking for a tragedy.
Now, Russ, the permit that Coweta commissioners approved last night doesn't set forth a clear timeline of when construction could begin, but it does require that the developer has to fund road improvements and protect a private cemetery on the property.
But now, because of drone warfare, we have to relook at all forms of security and the need for rebuilding the GCC region, to rebuild it so that it's going to be in a position where it's not going to be obstructed by drone warfare. So many more things are going to have to be underground. But even here in the United States, if we're going to be building, let's say, these 1 gigawatt data centers, how do we make sure we're not protecting those $50 billion, $75 billion investments? We have to relook at everything because of the role of drone warfare. Right now, we're looking at it internationally, but one of my concerns is, could it be a domestic terrorism using a $3,000 drone? So all of these things are actually opportunities, not problems. It's going to require, as we said, trillions of dollars of capital. Governments cannot build these out alone. They don't have the wherewithal. And two, their deficits are started to be mounting. And we spend too little time talking about the U.S. deficits and other countries' deficits. So this is going to all be the role of private sector.
This is Project Stratos, the new AI surveillance center, data center, being built in Utah. But don't worry, it's only the size of Manhattan or Washington, D.C. Don't worry though, guys, it's not like Utah's in a drought. Oh, wait, they are. Wait, how much water does this thing use? Oh, only 16.5 billion gallons? Guys, that's not that much, come on. Maybe the reason they need so much water is because you have clowns from Shark Tank like Kevin O'Leary promoting and pushing this. Why is it always the multimillionaires and billionaires who decide how we live? Guys, and they're so efficient with the power they use. This only requires 2.5 times more power than the whole state of Utah and more than 35 states in total. If you're one of the lucky homeowners who lives on the outskirts of this, your home value is set to decrease by at least 5 or 10%. Remember, these are being built all over the United States right now. We the people need to speak out against this. Much love, God bless, keep holding on to truth.
Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them.
You know all these data centers that keep going up all over the place? Those are connected to 6G and the robots. That's why they're pushing that stuff so hard. People are wondering why they keep pushing these AI data centers so much. AI data center, you got to look this up. It's called AI Iran, okay? And what are we in right now? What war are we in right now? Iran's war, right? Well, there, if you look up, it's called AI Iran. That is the connection to 6G, and that is the connection to the data centers, and that is what they're going to do next. So when they're pushing these data centers, people need to push back against this stuff because that is the Terminator coming into real life. This is why they're trying to put the data centers in each state right there. Each state has these data centers because when they roll out these robots, these drones, these robot things that try to move around and whatever else they do, that is the connection to that. And I was going through it and I was like, wait a minute. So they're distracting people with the war, right, while they roll out the technology with the exact same name. Think about that. That's what they do. Every single time, they always cover things up. They always, whatever the word is right here, they will put out something like a song or a music video or something like that to get rid of that name. And they've done this with, like, you look up Tesla and you find an electric vehicle now. You don't find Nikola Tesla, you find an electric vehicle. So they do these things to get rid of one thing so you don't look that up, and then now you switch it over here. So that is the 6G push, and the 6G is crazy when it comes to it.